With that said, we'll keep things in the NFC East. We'll focus on the divisional leaders in that NFC East with the Philadelphia Eagles just absolutely destroying the Titans by the score of 35-10. Kev, this game was not really competitive as far as I see it. It's just the Eagles from beginning to end, they just owned the Titans, and especially in the second half, they really ramped it up, and the Titans just had no answer for Jalen Hurts and the offense, and Ryan Tannehill with the offense for the Titans. They just could not get anything going. Derrick Henry was essentially a no-show in the game, was held to a relatively pedestrian performance, and with the win, I mean, the Eagles are just on fire right now. They're 11-1. They have the best record in the NFL, and they comfortably hold that number one seed in the NFC at this current moment in time. So, Kev, to kick this one to you, how would you assess the Eagles after them just destroying the Titans in Week 13? And how do you think this impacts them as we get closer to the playoffs?
Bro, pure unadulterated ass whooping. Like we're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles being 11-1 right now. And everyone always says the strength of schedule. Who have they played? What have they done? Blah blah blah, right? You still have to win. Point blank period. You still have to execute. You still have to find a way to close out the game with your points being higher than the opposing teams, right? They had one bad game. They had a couple bad games, but I'm talking about the loss that they had. They had a bad game and they lost, so the undefeated season is over. Boo hoo. Nobody gives a shit about undefeated seasons. The Giants won a championship, what, 9-7? Nobody cares how you get it done. It's about getting it done. Jalen Hurts said it when they were 5-0 a couple of months ago. I hate the narrative of being 5-0 or 6-0, whatever it was at that time, because it doesn't make a difference. I'm pretty sure he made the analogy of Bama being undefeated and then losing in the national championship. Like, it makes no difference what the regular season is. Yes, it's good to build and solidify a home field advantage or whatever it is that you need to do in the regular season to make the playoffs easier or more manageable. But the Eagles are focused on something bigger, and that's a Super Bowl. And you can hear that in the way that Jalen Hurts talks. You can hear that in the way Sirianni talks, and all the veterans on this team, like Fletcher Cox and so many other people like Darius Slay and so on and so forth. What I'm getting at is the Eagles have one of the worst rush defenses in the NFL, right? Everybody knows it. Multiple people have run all over them. It is what it is. Derrick Henry is arguably the best back in football, 30 yards. This is what I've been saying about the Tennessee Titans for years now. They're a one-trick pony. If Derrick Henry does not do well, they don't win. It's just point blank, period. Their record when Derrick Henry has under 100 yards is horrible. And that's just a fact. So then you go and you just have to put the ball in Ryan Tannehill's hands. They don't have the opportunity to do much because the offensive line's falling apart. Philadelphia sacks him 6 times. Philly has stepped up in every opportunity that they have needed to. Have they played the hardest schedule in the NFL? Absolutely not. Have they dominated teams that they needed to? 100%. In the big games that they have needed to win, the Dallas game, yes, it was Cooper Rush. It's still a division rival, and Cooper Rush was playing well. And at the time, Dallas's defense was arguably the best defense in the league. Minnesota, oh, it's a primetime game, blah, 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 blah. Kirk Cousins had a primetime game on Thanksgiving, and he beat Mac Jones and the Patriots. So, again, look at the Vikings now, 9-2 or 10-2, whatever it is that they are. Philadelphia is out here playing Tennessee, who was leading the AFC South. And nobody was saying anything when Tennessee was on a win streak. Nobody was saying anything when Tennessee was dominating people when Derrick Henry had over 200 yards rushing. I'm just saying, it's give and take like anything else. Now, when it comes to what the Titans were able to do, they were able to take the run game completely away from Philadelphia. They have arguably, if not a top 3 rush defense in the National Football League, bar none. It's just a fact. They have, I think, the worst, if not second worst, passing defense in the NFL. But when you're able to lock down opposing running backs and not be able to give an offense another avenue of getting yards and gaining points and scoring, that's big. The Eagles only ran for 67 yards, 2.8 yards per carry. So what does that mean? I'm just, dramatic pause here, right? I'm being, I want you guys to think about it. That means Jalen Hurts has got to find a way to score the ball, right? Jalen Hurts has got to find a way to make things happen. Jalen Hurts goes for 380 yards and 3 touchdowns and 1 on the ground. So 4 total touchdowns. MVP. That's all I have to say. Best record in the league. Immediate massive improvement from last year to this year. Second, if not league's best offense. And then you go and you play the league's best rush defense. And usually that would deter people to say, damn, Jalen Hurts isn't going to be mobile. Miles Sanders is going to be hindered, blah, blah, blah. No, he goes for almost 400 yards. I've had enough of the narrative of he can't lead a team. Is he in his third or fourth year? Yes. Is he Patrick Mahomes? No. Josh Allen? No. Joe Burrow? No. He is Jalen Hurts. He does what he needs to do week in and week out to put his team in the best position to win. I think this game staples him in the conversation. Not has him mentioned, not has him in the conversation, not has him like coming in like his foot's like creaking in the door. No. He is 1000% in the conversation. If Josh Allen, who is one of the worst turnover prone quarterbacks in the league statistically this year between interceptions and fumbles, if he is in the MVP conversation and they have more losses and they have struggled against worse teams, why is he in the conversation? Jalen Hurts and the Eagles have a better record, a better offense. I'm trying to make comparisons here. I'm trying to understand. So the Eagles blow out the Titans 35-10. They continue to dominate the NFC East, and they're going to have some tough matchups coming up in the next couple of weeks. They got to play the Giants 2 times. They got to play freaking the Commanders. So there is going to be 100% more things to go through as the season progresses. But again, they're 11-1, and they've done what they needed to do. Let's start putting some respect on Philly because seriously, at the end of the day, are they going to win a Super Bowl? Nobody knows, but they're doing what they need to do. And Jalen Hurts is right there in that MVP conversation without a doubt.
Kev, I gotta say, you've really come full circle based off of what you did last week. You picked against them. You picked
I
against the
did.
Eagles.
Dude, it's Derrick Henry. They haven't been. They couldn't stop Dameon Pierce, a rookie.
I mean,
What am I supposed to do? Derrick Henry had a shit game the week before. I thought he was going to come into this game pissed.
it's like you said in the analysis, they're a one-trick pony. And I remember when we were talking about this game last week in the lead up to this weekend, if the Eagles were able to contain Derrick Henry to 50, 75, even 100 yards rushing, I think that they could probably take that to the bank. It's like, you know what? We can live with that. Because more than likely, that would mean that Ryan Tannehill would have to go out there and carry pretty much all of the pressure on his back to get Tennessee that win. And guess what? We both know this. We don't have faith that Ryan Tannehill is going to do it consistently. I remember after that Bengals game in the playoffs last year in the AFC divisional round, we basically said that his tenure as a Titan to do really anything special was basically over because Derrick Henry runs that team, especially on the offensive side of the ball. And, when you look at this game that took place on Sunday, I mean, the Eagles just smashed them. There's no other way to say it. They just beat the brakes off of them as far as I'm concerned. And, Kev, I mean, you pretty much hit the nail on the head when it comes to where the Eagles go from here. I mean, the Eagles have the best record in the NFL. They've only lost one game, and it was a divisional game where, had they not turned the ball over, more than likely they'd probably still be undefeated. So they're definitely one of the best teams this year. They have a really good track to possibly make the Super Bowl this year. But, I mean, Kev, I think, your analysis with Jalen Hurts potentially being in that MVP discussion, honestly, I think it's kind of overdue. I mean, he is the leader of the offense of the best team in the NFL, and he's been solid this year. He's been a great quarterback this year, and it's just I find it kind of ironic that we haven't really heard him mentioned in any sort of MVP discussion, just because it's really been focused on Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. Now you could probably even throw Joe Burrow's name in there based off of how he's played the last couple weeks. But you look at Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has been extremely consistent this year. There hasn't been really too many games where we could look back at a specific set of games. It's like, yeah, he really struggled. Yeah, he was awful in this game. That's not the case here. Jalen Hurts has been a model of consistency. He's completing a high percentage of his passes. He's getting his numbers as far as touchdowns are concerned up. He's putting the yards that need to be put up in every single game. And he's putting the Eagles in a position to win football games. And as far as I see it, he hasn't done anything to detract from that. Now, granted, the Eagles haven't had what I would consider the most difficult schedule to work with, but that's out of their control. They have to play the games that they have on their slate, and they've been dominant this year as far as I've seen it. I mean, outside of the Commanders game, whenever they've gone up against top tier talent, they've smashed them, including this one with them beating the Titans by 25 points. And even I picked the Eagles to win this game. I didn't think that this was going to happen where they were going to win by 4 possessions. But here we are, and we only have a couple weeks left of the season to go. And the fact they've been able to maintain this type of success in a division like the NFC East, which has been outright phenomenal this year, I think it's even a bigger credit to Jalen Hurts. They can't really slip. They can't falter here because the Cowboys are nipping on their heels. They've been behind them, very close to them, pretty much the entire season. Yet the Eagles don't let up. The Eagles have been one step ahead of them the entire season. And if they continue to play like this, the Cowboys are going to be playing second fiddle as far as I see it in the NFC East, just because the Eagles are that good. And it's largely led by Jalen Hurts. Nick Sirianni has been great with the play calling. And when the defense has needed to step up to make plays, they have. You look back to the beginning of the year against Kirk Cousins and the Vikings on that famous Monday night game. Man, they looked like they made Kirk Cousins look like a varsity level quarterback. Just couldn't do anything against that Eagles defense. You look at Ryan Tannehill against the Eagles defense, couldn't do anything. Derrick Henry was an absolute no-show in this game. Credit to the Eagles defense. When the Eagles play these top tier teams, or at least what I would consider better teams in the NFL, they rise to the occasion to make the plays that need to be made. And when you make enough of those plays, you end up getting the results that you get. You get wins by essentially 3 or 4 possessions. So the Eagles are in a great position here. I think that they're one of the favorites to possibly represent the NFC this year to make it to a Super Bowl. And as long as there aren't any disastrous injuries that make the Eagles take a step back, I think they're in prime position here. Because as far as I see it, the NFC is really kind of in I would say, an unstable situation just because, Jimmy G broke his foot with the 49ers. They were one of those dark horse Super Bowl teams that definitely puts them in a step back and maybe puts the Seattle Seahawks in contention for the NFC West. You look at the Vikings. I mean, the Vikings are the top team in the NFC North, but the Eagles already beat them. They already smashed them. In the NFC South, it's an absolute tire fire of a situation with the Bucks leading that division at a sub 500 record. So you could definitely make a good case that the Eagles are far and away the best team in the NFC. And as long as they can contend with their own teams in their division, really the sky's the limit as far as I see it. But no, Kev, the point that you made about Jalen being in the MVP discussion, it is well deserved. He's earned it as far as I'm concerned. And if he's able to maintain that style of play, he's definitely like top 2, top 3 MVP. He's like in the top 2, top 3 of MVP candidates as far as I see it. But overall, I think the Eagles are in a solid position here. And we'll see where they go from here.